Hello students. Today we will be covering 7.4 absolute value equations. This is page 126 in your yellow packet. Our objective, I can solve absolute value equations. It says and inequalities, but we'll be doing that another day. Vocabulary, absolute value is the distance a value is from 0 on the number line. Okay? So in other words, absolute value of 3 is positive 3, absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. So mainly you think of absolute value whenever it has to be positive, okay? So if you have x, absolute value of x equals 6, we know that x can equal 6. We write it exactly like this, or if we put negative 6 in there, the absolute value of that is also going to be 6. So our two solutions will be 6 and negative 6. Right over here, absolute value of x is 0. The only solution to that is 0. There's not a positive and negative. It's 0 distance from 0. Now, if they have absolute value of x equals negative 6, we can say that that's an empty set or no solution, because once it's absolute value on the outside, it has to be positive. Here we can have a negative 6 solution because that's inside the absolute value, and the solution here is positive. We can't have the solution outside here being negative. That's when you get empty set. Okay, how many solutions? Absolute value of x equals negative 2 times 7. So we can see absolute value of x equals negative 14. Now, because it's absolute value here, and this is outside, it's like this one, so we're going to have no solution for this. Okay, so that would be empty set. Okay, we go on to number 2. X equals 8 times 3 minus 3. I think I somehow wrote that wrong. Let me just double check for sure. So no, it's 3 times 3 minus 3. Now, 3 minus 3 is 0. So 3 times 0. So how many solutions is that? One solution. Okay. Next is a little bit of a trickster. Let's see, would you rather try 3 or 4? I think I'm going to go ahead and do 3 for you and have you try number 4, okay? Or we can pause the video now and see if you can get number 3, okay? So we're going to simplify this part, see if it's going to be negative or not. If it's negative, it'll be no solution. If it's positive, it's 2 solutions. If it comes out to be 0, then we know that it is 1 solution. Okay, so we go 21 plus 3 plus 3. 21 plus 3 is 24, 25, 26, 27. Over absolute value of negative 3 minus a negative 6. So this becomes minus a negative is plus positive, and that's going to be 3. Okay, which equals 27. Absolute value of 3 is 3. So absolute value of x equals 9. Okay, so how many solutions can that have? You can pause the video and answer the question. And your answers are x equals 9, but you can also have negative 9 in there. So there'll be 2 solutions. And here's your 2 solutions. So on number 3, make sure you put 2 solutions and put what they are. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and do number 4. And then if we have time, we'll go ahead and find out if you did it right, or I can check your solution. Okay, here we go. 4 over 2 is going to be 2 plus negative 7 squared. Remember, exponents first is going to be 49. Absolute value of 49 is 49. plus 7. And absolute value of x equals all that. Add all that together. Absolute value of x equals 58. Okay, so this is positive, so we know that x can equal 58, or x can also equal negative 58. So you will have two solutions. And there they are. Okay. All right. Go on to the next part. Here it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to solve absolute value equations. Isolate the absolute value. See how this has 9 times the absolute value stuff minus 8. We have to add 8 and then divide by 9 and then split it up into 2 equations. Okay. Do not distribute into an absolute value. That's important information to know. Again, do not distribute into the absolute value equation. You need to make sure you move everything away and then divide by the number in front. Set the quantity and the absolute value equal to plus and minus the quantity on the other side. See how we have absolute value here equals 10. So we make 2 equations, positive 10 and negative 10, and then we solve for each. Okay? And then at the end, make sure you check your answer and write solution as a set. Okay? Now we're going to go on to 7.4 on the next page, and I will do a couple of problems here. (10 plus 2m equals 8. The absolute value is by itself, so I can go ahead and do my 2 equations. I write it exactly as it is first. And right now, I'm just using my problem-solving skills. Divide by 2. And m equals negative 1. So there's one solution. Sorry, it's a bit messy. So m equals negative 1 there. Now we're going to go ahead and do the second equation. 10 plus 2m equals negative 8. Minus 10. Okay, so you have your solutions that m equals, and we should probably be putting these in curly brackets, negative 1 comma negative 9. And there's your solution. If they want to know 2 solutions, then you can write 2 solutions on there. But I think on number 1, we're only writing the solutions as a set, so mainly they're looking for that part of it. Okay. All right, let's go on to number 2. Absolute value here equals negative 4. Absolute value is by itself. The distance from 0 is negative 4. No, we can't have that. So we're just going to write empty set, because you will never get any solutions where the absolute value is going to equal a negative number there. Now we can have m equals negative eventually, but either case, if you're blurring the absolute values by itself, that cannot be negative. All right. We're going to go on, and actually this was, we're going to go on to, we can have you do 3 and 4 and pause the video, or I can show you how to do number 5. Absolute value of x equals all of this. So let's go ahead and solve this. We're going to change this to plus positive, and we do things in parentheses first. So we have 3 minus 5 is negative 2 plus 4, and this is in parentheses, so that's going to be 2. So 2 minus 2, absolute value of x equals 0. So one solution, and if they want to know what that one solution is, it's 0. Okay. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. Number 8, absolute value of x equals 2 times 4 minus a negative 2. Now, we have to do multiplication over addition or subtraction. So 2 times 4 is 8, and then minus a negative 2, we can change that to plus 2. So 8 plus 2, absolute value of x equals 10. Now we know this can be a negative 10 or a positive 10. So that's 2 solutions. All right. Okay, you can get the rest of this, students. You rock.